Hi guys, so I'm back with the second part of the It miniseries review. I decided to do it in two parts because there was a stark difference in my opinion between episode 1 and episode 2. If you didn't watch my review for episode 1, then check that out before you watch this one so you've got a kind of understanding of how I feel about the first part of the miniseries. Part 2 takes place 30 years later when the Losers Club must return to Derry when Pennywise returns, facing it one last time. Now obviously this was filmed all at the one time, so the feeling of episode 2 is the exact same feeling and look, an aesthetic look to episode 1, but what's missing, as most of you will know, is a large part of it including the kids. The kids is what made the episode 1, sorry, that's what made that episode so good, but what was missing badly was the kids, and I think that episode 2 suffered very badly with just having it predominantly the adults. Now I don't know what they're going to do with It Chapter 2 with the movies because it's going to contain the adults. I'm hoping that they do something really good, but what they did with this one was take away the biggest part of what we loved about the miniseries, and it's hard to top what they did in episode 1. Now I don't think the actors that played the adults in episode 2 were bad. I think most of them were good. Harry Anderson was good. There was a few moments involving the guy for the Waltons, John Boy, who plays an older Bill. There's a few moments where he fell or dropped something that was just so forced that it put me off him as an actor in this movie. So I don't think he was the best. I think that Tim Reid was good. I think that John Ritter was great. John Ritter's always good. And obviously the one mainstay and the one thing that we loved about episode 2 was Tim Curry's performance as Pennywise. He was just as good in this as he was in the first episode when he was with the kids. And his performance didn't change, which was good, because usually when an actor is acting around kids, they act in a different way. He didn't. He wanted to scare the kids as kids, and he wanted to scare the adults as adults, and he spoke to them as if they were still kids from 1959 or 1960. This might sound strange, but I think that the setting of the 30 years later looked very dated. Like when you're watching it back in 1990, it's normal, but the things that they did and the things that they were wearing and the situations that they were in, I just think that when you're watching it in 2019, you're thinking that's a little dated. Obviously it's not their fault because they didn't know what was going to happened. For example, John Ritter with his big massive phone, his big mobile phone, and the taxi, little things like that just kind of put you off. And again, I didn't love this episode as a kid, so I wasn't expecting good things again when I'd done a rewatch. And you know, I was right not to really like that episode because this episode wasn't a great episode. And I think what hit the nail on the head was the ending of this episode. I didn't know what to expect for the ending. I didn't read the book at the time. I didn't read online what actually happened at the end of the book involving the turtle and the spider and things. But I think that Tommy Lee Wallace probably did the best job he could with the spider at the end. I think it looked a little pathetic at the time, and watching it back today, it was kind of cringeworthy. So I was actually watching it and looking around thinking, oh, that's really bad. The ending was bad. All the way through the episode was quite boring. The only times I really enjoyed it was when we saw Pennywise, which wasn't enough, and when we saw the kids flashbacks again, which again wasn't enough. I think the story of Pennywise over the 2 episodes was still strong. It was a Stephen King story after all, and you can tell that throughout both episodes. So I think that one of the strongest parts, with the characters aside, was the storyline. I think the story was there, it just wasn't utilised, and I'm hoping that's what they do well in the movie. If I'm judging this episode as a single episode, I think it was a weak episode and something that I didn't enjoy at all. And this is when I'll judge both of them together, because as a whole, I think overall it was a good TV show. Episode 1 was fantastic, one of the best TV show episodes I've ever seen for a horror genre. But when you judge just episode 2 on its own, I didn't like it at all. So here's a couple of questions for you guys. Did you like episode 2? Did you like it better than episode 1? Do you consider episode 1 and 2 a movie? That's one of the big questions, because a lot of the new generation of horror fans think that this is a movie and it's not. And I think that's why the new movie itself from 2017 was getting a lot of hate before it came out, because people are saying, I don't want a remake. It's not a remake at all. And that's a question that I get asked a lot. That's a thing that I have a debate with a lot of people over, is Is It from 2017 a remake? Well, no, it's not. Technically it's not, and it's not a remake. That's like calling Lord of the Rings from 2001 a remake. Think about it. Anyway guys, thanks a lot for watching again. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.